Espero, en ansiedad, fue importante que trabajaron el
So she was saying good afternoon, and she was asking what are the sentiments and the feelings felt after winning the game.
Ya. Sí, fue muy importante haber ganado, muy importante que el equipo no pierda orden, ni entró ni en ansiedad ni en desespero, porque generaba acciones y no llegaban. Sin embargo, con la paciencia y el manejo, el equipo se fue apoderando cada vez más del partido. No sufrió ni un córner, ni una falta a favor de ellos. No sufrimos en ningún momento. Generamos muchas posibilidades y un 3-0 pues que nos da el paso para ir a pelear la clasificación.
So he expressed that it was important for them to win, that the team maintained discipline at no point in time they fell apart, and it was important for them to keep it together, and despite all the efforts that they had, they still managed to get 3-0.
¿Qué significa también el hecho de que este partido marca la vuelta de Brian Anguilla y aparte de eso lo hace total?
Es importante, mientras más jugadores tengamos de alto nivel, para nosotros es muy bueno porque necesitamos que todo el mundo esté en forma, no los 11, sino los 23, 24, 26 jugadores que tengamos. Mira que en el segundo tiempo hicimos unos cambios ofensivos y todos los muchachos responden. Entonces estamos en buen momento para que los que lleguen se metan al grupo y trabajen de igual manera.
Repita la pregunta.
¿Qué significó la vuelta de Brian en la selección y hacerlo con gol?
Okay, so she was asking why they made this difference that allowed them to score. So he expressed that they made some offense changes which allowed them to execute, and all the players responded to those changes that were made.
Bueno, Julio, ahora la pregunta para ti. Se obtiene ese triunfo que obviamente le da al equipo tranquilidad para afrontar el partido del día martes, pero también teniendo en cuenta que Surinam va a ser una selección que va a exigir más de lo que ha sido este día con Anguilla.
Sí, claro. La realidad es que la clasificación sigue dependiendo de nosotros. Enfrentaremos a un rival muy difícil, pero creo que nosotros tenemos las armas suficientes, tenemos el deseo y anhelo de la clasificación. Entonces creo que vamos a hacer un buen partido en nuestra casa, que va a ser importante, y ir por la clasificación.
So she was asking him how does he feel about winning, and what does this mean for them being able to advance to the next game on Tuesday against Suriname, knowing that Suriname will be an easy defeat for them. And he responded and said that it will be challenging, but they're willing, they're committed to play them, and it's just for them to continue to do their best to win the game against Suriname.
So the question to the coach, are you satisfied with the scoreline?
Que si usted está satisfecho con el 3-0 de hoy.
El 3-0 es un buen resultado porque nos da lo que pretendemos, ir tranquilos a nuestra casa. Satisfecho por el orden.
He said he's satisfied with the order. It's not the best one for them, but he's grateful for it.
Tuvimos orden, tuvimos paciencia, trabajamos el partido con sociedades, con triangulaciones.
He said that they had patience, they had order, and that allowed them to get the 3-0 victory.
So you're trying to qualify in the second spot that you are in at the moment with 7 points. You have Suriname to play, and Puerto Rico also have St. Vincent to play, which can get them to 7 points as well. What will be your game plan going into Tuesday's match?
Él dice que ustedes tienen 7 puntos y que tienen que jugar Puerto Rico y San Vicente, y que cualquiera de ellos los que ganen van a tener 7 puntos. Que ¿cuál es su plan para el juego el martes, para ustedes poder tener más puntos?
El plan nuestro es seguir mejorando nuestras actuaciones, seguir mejorando el trabajo que hacemos en la semana, tener un poquito más de intensidad, estamos en un mejor clima, estamos en nuestra cancha, nos van a dar más espacio, no va a ser tan cerrado como hoy, entonces vamos a aprovechar eso.
So he said it's just to improve on their tactics. They'll be in a better position with better climate, they'll be in their own environment, so it's just for them to improve on what they have been working on.
Anguilla played a very defensive brand of football. How difficult was it to break down that defense?
El equipo de Anguilla jugó un juego muy defensivo. ¿Cómo usted se sintió con ellos jugando así? ¿Cómo se propuso desbaratar la defensa?
Pues al principio creo que fue complicado encontrar los espacios. Creo que nos costó adaptarnos un poco al juego en repliegue que hicieron ellos. Estuvieron muy cerrados. Eso dificultó por ahí los primeros minutos de encontrar el gol. Pero tuvimos la paciencia suficiente para abrirlos y supimos manejar bien la pelota.
He said it was very challenging because they were playing very defensive and very close in, but with some patience they were able to break that defense and open up the place so no goal scoring opportunities.
You've played Anguilla in the past. Compare the past to now, to today. What improvements, what have you seen different in Anguilla today?
Que el equipo de El Salvador ha jugado a Anguilla en el pasado. Del pasado a que usted ha visto que han hecho diferente o si han mejorado el juego de fútbol.
Pues la verdad estuvieron en los últimos partidos que jugaron contra El Salvador, creo que plantearon un partido bastante defensivo. Eso sí, creo que mejoraron mucho en el orden, nos cerraron espacios y creo que eso ha sido una mejora significativa para ellos.
Said it has been a major significance for the team of Anguilla because he said in the past they have played defensively and they continue to do so and he saw better defensive shape. So he acknowledges that and feels that's a major accomplishment for the team Anguilla.
What was the condition like out there?
Que ¿Cómo fue las condiciones afuera jugando?
¿Cómo fueron qué?
Las condiciones como el clima, el ambiente.
Pues bastante similar a lo que jugamos en nuestro país, calor, un clima que por ahí puede dificultar un poco la carga física, pero creo que estamos acostumbrados en nuestro país a jugar ese tipo de temperatura.
So you say the ambiance is similar over there, so it's not something they are not used to, and it could be a little challenging, playing in the heat so forth, but it's similar to what they play in El Salvador.
Listo.
That's it.
Gracias.
Gracias.
Thank you, Sil. Gracias.
Good. I think you should pull a mic because not yet. You should pull a mic because all those are from him.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. You should pull a mic.
It close enough or no?
They don't want any question.
Okay, good afternoon, Public Relations Coach and the last Tony Fleming. Could you tell us the strategy that you in place for the team to play today?
First, I want to tell you that I tell the team that I think the performance was excellent. I think they work hard, knowing it's a 3 p.m. game, and also coming out of a game 48 hours ago against St. Vincent. I think we were excellent. The game plan was always to stay organized and play on the counter.
Realize that they were stay organized and to play on the counter. But at times, for the most part, because El Salvador had 87% percentage of the possession and Anguilla had 13%. So was it that you wanted them to stay compact and stay more defensive to limit the amount of goals that you might have been encountering?
So, a year and a half ago, when I came into this job, I understand that one of our problems is keeping possession. You know, when you're in possession of the ball, the opponent cannot score. So we do a lot of work in possession, but the problem is that when we go on the international level, we're unable to hold up the ball long enough. So we had to play to our strength, which is drop deep, keep shape, and play on the counter.
I noticed that your team on Wednesday night was stark contrast to the one today. You had the likes of Varian Carty, one of the better ball handlers. You had the likes of Aiden Scipio and one of the better defenders, as well as Luke. They were all on the bench. Could you tell us why you took that those players out of the starting lineup?
Coming out of the St. Vincent game, we acquired some injuries, so we had no choice to make some adjustments. It was fortunate that we had players who most likely to play on the defensive side of the game. So I tweaked the system, I tweaked how we want to play to accommodate the starting 11. So it was the reason why, yes, it was defensive, but it was compulsory in terms of the starting 11.
Was there anything else that you in hindsight, that you would change when you look at the performance of the team playing in this match?
Well, as I said before, we tweak the system in terms of what we do at the sides of the field, what we do in the front of the field. When I say in front, at the half line, when the team in possession, and we try to add when they are possession and we win the ball, what we do. But the process was too slow, and we had to look at blistering sun, hard ground. So I think coming out of the game, I think I am happy for the players with the hard work and the result.
Would you have given, because we noticed as well that when they had the ball, especially when they were in their defensive turn, our players started to track back to pick a position in our half.
Yes.
Was that?
Yeah, we did a line, we call it a line of confrontation. We did a line of confrontation when we out of possession, that's where we want to play from. Because we have to be honest, we don't really have the quality to match up when we qualify for this World Cup. For the first time, qualifiers. We don't have the quality. We're short in many areas. First area we're short in is the league. You don't have the quality to improve the players. So it's like learning on the job. Because if you look around and you check the ages of some of the players, we are 16, 15, 17, 18. So I think it's a work in progress.
Lawrence, splendid job. I heard someone in this time say this is your last match. Tell the people whether that's the case or not.
Thank you. Yes, it is my last game.
Yeah.
After this, hanging up the gloves as a player, international player.
Is there a reason for that? Because I heard you on another broadcast said that you think you have 1 or 2 more years. So that changed overnight.
Could I add the answer for that? If Ajax, we have a good relationship, and I feel if Ajax, I strike again next year for me.
It's family reason, man. It's family reasons.
Okay. I thought you were splendid as always. You've done human service, whether it's club or whether it's for country. You've done very well. But talk us through the game out there. What were you seeing from your position at the back of the goal?
Well, like when we met before the game in game preparation, I told the guys last night, the game is simple. Like last year when we played Suriname, we continuously talk, pass on the guys, and we just slide and shift. And we did that same, and the guys then did that same thing today there, and it was excellent. Congratulations to El Salvador. You could see the capabilities that we and where they at, and the level that where we need to get to be able to compete better. And it's a work in progress, like Coach said. If the guys keep putting their head down and learn from the errors, don't beat themselves up from the errors, and just look to grow step by step, then eventually that we could get to somewhere there.
So I goes to the sequence of the first goal. What transpired there? What could you have done differently to prevent that?
On that one I could have hung back a bit, but on that occasion I felt no, it would have been to help ease the pressure. Would have been best if I would have attacked the ball. But when I went up, I felt like my hands was held back. So that's why I was unable to make contact with the ball, and unfortunately led to a goal.
The second one, it was probably the best move that the El Salvador would have played throughout the course of the entire match. From your vantage point, and it was exportly finished as well. Very little. What did you see?
It's a game of chess. We just missed one slight 1 second out of being out of position by that one split second, and that allowed them to just get into that little pocket. And the number 11 who had the assist, I thought he would have squared across, but he actually squared it backwards into the striker, which kind of threw me off. But it was on their part, I would say it was a good, well-worked goal.
They had a lot of position, a lot of cross and back passes. I didn't see the dynamism in any player over there to penetrate and dribble. How would you assess the defenders who are in front of you defending the play coming through? How would you say that the game is happening?
No, but the game is, you can control the game with the ball, and you can also control the game without the ball. As much as how they had 87% of possession, I feel on our part, we control the game defensively because everything actually happened in front of us. There were very few occasions where we had to turn and run facing our goal. But apart from that, everything happened in front of us, which made it much easier for defenders to see what was happening, and just for constant communication, we were able to see the movement.
Well done, I hope this will be your last game. Coach, going forward, you did mention that we don't have the caliber and the quality of players to really come up against some of these teams. Let's say if you given the chance to continue in the job, how would you correct, how would you change that perception in molding the players, in getting them to a respectable standard that you would want to see?
Yeah, good question. I think the local team, I think they should get the opportunity more than the foreign players because they already participating at a higher level. So what we had to do at home is get into international teams so we could either travel, they come and they help us in terms of gaining experience. I have already looked, coming out of this tournament, I look at, there's a lot of British colonies. I think there are about 6 in the region. I think if we play a competition between ourselves, we would help improve each other. You ever thought about that? I'll put the question back to you.
That's a good suggestion.
Exactly.
And
more football, improvement will come, experience will come, because no team does play the same way. We will learn from each other. You know, it will help coaches, it will help players. We will all improve if we sit down and brainstorm and come up with something where players could continue to apply the trade by the game they love.
how beneficial were you talking about playing more football? I know leading up to these 2 particular matches, you had the Pelican Cup, you came up against St. Kitts, you came up against St. Martin, you had a friendly against Grenada as well. How did those matches help you to prepare?
I think we just spoke about it. These is the kind of matches or games that we need to play to get to the next level we want to go. As I tell the players, we only have one problem. The problem is being able to play confidence when we're in possession. We lost the ball too quick. So it's the reason why at international level we end up, let me say, with between 15 to 25% possession, and the other teams have about 85. So when we add that part of phase of the game where we could control the ball and keep possession, Anguilla football will go to another level. Anguilla football spend too much time. They're swinging out the ball. So bad habits, just take a little while to get the change and to get the confidence. So that's why in my first question, it was, we need continuity. And as I said, you see the age of some of the players, I am so proud of them.
Well, like again, hard luck, I must say, and we must let the listening and the viewing public know that this was the first time in the history of Anguilla participating in the World Cup, the first time they would have gotten the opportunity to be in a zone where they were able to play 4 matches as opposed to the one and done.
Yes.
So, building on that, what's next for the team going forward?
Well,
what's the next assignment?
That is a difficult question to answer, but if I am given the opportunity, I would sit down and talk to the heads and ask them to find a way where we could engage top level teams. Because I have a vision, my vision is to get Anguilla to go into the Central American zones and play against the top teams in Central America. If not club, country or club. And the reason for that, we will learn to play against all these movements taking place. That is our biggest problem. We hesitant, we doesn't understand movements, and that is a serious problem. When you continue to play against this kind of opposition that we have today, football will improve. We will play with confidence, knowing that we can match up out of possession. And as we came out of a 6-0 loss 3 days ago, it'll be difficult, one, to start 90% of the men who played Wednesday, knowing you're coming into an environment where, yes, you know it, where it's 3 o'clock, hot sun, and you're coming up against a technical and tactical organized team where no possession wouldn't be in your favor.
That 6-0 should have only been 1, which was a penalty.
Correct.
All the others would have come from soft goal.
Correct.
Like again, I said all the best, and Lawrence, I hope to see you speak again, but whatever it is, we want to thank you for your services. This is your last match. We want to thank you for your service. You have done very, very well between the sticks, because it could have easily been much more than 3. It's not the same team that I played against in 2007, 2006.
15 years ago.
Okay, right, so their strategy was totally different, the players was totally different, so we want to thank you for your services and we wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
Insan yang kita from a change, that is that